Hello, everyone. Thank you for all for coming. This is the 2019-2020 ASUA Senate Q&A, so let's get a round of applause. I just want to state before we start that we have the privilege to be on this stolen land for the Tohono O'odham Nation. So moving forward, the way the event's going to work is that every candidate's going to stand here. They're going to get 1 minute and 30 seconds to speak about themselves. I highly suggest you do not repeat anything in your platform since students can read that online. I would sort of talk about some things that aren't in your platform or maybe elaborate on a few points on your platform just to make sure you use your 1 minute and 30 seconds wisely. And then our panel here, they'll introduce themselves in a second. They will be asking you 3 questions. So it'll be sort of like general questions about the position of an ASUA senator, and more than likely, if you're a college senator, they'll be specifically about issues or boundaries in your college. In the back here, Carter, raise your hand. So I'll be sitting back there, and you'll be seeing me. I'll be holding up cue cards. Not cue cards, time cards telling you like 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and time's up. I will be keeping the time very clearly, so I will cut you off if you go over time, just for sake to sort of give the fairness of all students to have sort of the same, because as we get towards the end, people start to like lose interest, and we really don't want to spend more than the time that we have and ensure that we all have a sort of a fair time to talk. So, the panel can introduce themselves, and then after that, we'll have the first candidate come up.
All right, thanks, Marlon. This is on? Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming today. My name is Matthew Rain. I'm our current Executive Vice President of ASUA. I oversee all of our clubs on campus and the appropriations funding through that. And then also my role is as chair of our Student Body Senate. So really excited to see all of our candidates out here today. But I will let our 4 senators of this class introduce themselves. Cool.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Johnson. I'm the current senator for the College of Nursing.
I am Haley Ramirez, and I am the senator for the College of Medicine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Madeline Melikar, and I'm the senator for the College of Engineering and the Senate president.
And I'm Katie Christopher, the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences senator and the Senate whip.
Awesome. Thank you all. So today's format, as Marlon mentioned pretty briefly, each senator will be called up and they will do an introduction, and then we will proceed to ask 3 questions. At the end of those 3 questions, the audience, if they have any remaining questions, will be able to ask that of that specific senator. So our first senator that we have coming up is Senator candidate from the College of Education, Joseph.
No.
Okay, sorry. Marlon's going to do it. Never mind.
No, so it's in the order that you guys are sitting in.
Okay,
Yeah.
psych.
Yeah, so you can go up, yeah.
Okay.
You can also take the mic off, because it might work, it might not work. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Regina De La Cruz, and I'm running for the senator for College of Nursing. I am currently a junior and in my second semester of the nursing program, so I feel pretty acquainted with the college itself. And in this position, I hope to build community in different levels within the college, both within the cohort, between cohorts. There's 4 semesters of College of Nursing students, so I hope to build those sense of community within the cohorts themselves, and also between like interdisciplinary, College of Medicine, College of Pharmacy, and also with like the greater University of Arizona community.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the first question we have for you is, why do you feel you are the best fit for College of Nursing senator?
I feel like I am a good fit, specifically because I am a second semester. I feel like I'm in a great position where I'm familiar with the college and how students are kind of getting on within the program. I'm in a position that if I got this position, that I would be able to serve for a full academic year and really utilize that time wisely to kind of make a difference within the college itself. being able to just even campaign, I've been able to talk with a lot of students regarding some of the things they want to see within the college, and I hope to implement that and utilize like existing things that Olivia, as the current College of Nursing Senator, is doing and some of her programs, and kind of just build upon those and then implement some of my own as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
The second question is, what is a way that you plan to build relationships within and between cohorts, with faculty, and with other health sciences students?
Regarding building relationships, the main thing I want to do is kind of create events that give opportunities for students to socialize with each other. I feel like as nursing students, a lot of times we get caught up in the schoolwork and kind of forget that at the end of the day, we're also college students, and we need to have those relationships just to be sane human beings in general. So just having those opportunities to interact within the cohort, between them as well, and then also with faculty, I feel like is very important. And just having those events, I feel like would be a good jump start to do that.
Thank you. The last question here is, of course, as a senator and as Senator Johnson knows, the workload, as you mentioned, as a nursing student is a lot. You have a lot of things going on, practicals. How will you manage and balance that with the 10 required office hours per week as a senator and your nursing, schooling, and everything else going on?
I feel like as of right now, I feel very well in tune with like my time management. I know like as the semesters progress, that the coursework will get harder, but I feel like roles of senator and intertwine that with my academic work. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a student, but I also know the responsibilities that come with senator and the time requirements that will entail.
Thank you. Are there any other additional questions at this moment, at this time?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And then just point of reference, if you can speak, like, have your lips like almost touching the mic just to make sure our video gets it and the audience can hear.
All right, can I start? All right, awesome. Hello, everybody. My name is Julie Vivaldo, and I am running to be senator for the College of Fine Arts. So I am from Tucson, Arizona. I graduated from Sabino High School back in 2016, and I am currently a junior studying clarinet performance and getting a minor in special education. So music and dance and the arts have been a huge part of my life ever since I was really little. So one of the reasons why I do want to be senator within the College of Fine Arts is because I really want to advocate combining and collaborating within all 4 schools within the College of Fine Arts, meaning School of Dance, Red Fox School of Music, College of Theater, Film, and Television, and also College of Dance. So that is something that I really want to do, and also advocate self-care among all 4 schools, because being a student and being an artist is really, really draining. How a lot of us share the similar struggles of being an artist, where there's a lot of competition out there. There is just so much to be worried about being an artist, and that's something that all of us have in common. So one of the things that I want to do is just ensure that with my platform presented, that I really want to bring all of us together and being able to form events to have everyone work together as a team, because we're all artists trying to do the same thing, making others happy and sharing our art with others.
Hi, Julie. So I know you talked about this in your intro, but there are clearly some divides between various schools under the College of Fine Arts. So in what specific ways would you go about bridging these schools together?
So one of the things I do want to do is forming events where it is accessible for all 4 schools. So the School of Dance is over by Giddings, which is on Campbell, and then the other within where Olive Road is in Second. So what I want to do is ensure that we have a location where all the schools feel like they are included, and planning events where they are easily able to access them. And I mentioned planning events earlier, so ensuring that they are able to fit it within their rehearsal schedules and performance schedules in order to ensure that they are able to get to those events and meet other people and such.
Hello. So CFA students are usually very busy with performances and rehearsals and whatnot. Is it possible to get students more engaged? I mean, kind of just answered that one in a way, but what are some other ways, I guess, to get them engaged?
I think something that will get them more engaged is providing fun events where they're able to kind of relax and distress, only because a lot of times we are go, go, go doing schoolwork, but everyone needs a break at some point, everyone needs to eat at some point, and everyone needs time to themselves in order to, you know, just like release all of that stress into doing good activities to help them calm down in a way. And that's why part of my platform, I'm really advocating self-care and just taking those moments where it's really hard being a student and it's really, really stressful. So I feel that if I'm able to come up with events that are attractive for students to kind of relax and stuff, that they would be willing to attend.
So our last question is, when you first heard about the role for ASUA Senator for College of Fine Arts, what was your first impression? And then how are you going to work to serve as a role model for the students in your college?
So I was very interested when I first heard about the position, only because I'm the type of person that would want to see good change happen, especially into something that I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about music, but just within the arts in general. So knowing that there was a position out there where I am able to contribute and help form connections and help bring people together, that is why college. And I feel like I'd be able to do that well only because I feel like I'm able to people, and because I have taken dance classes and I do have other people within different schools than my own. So I feel like I'd be able to just kind of put myself out there and see good change happen within the College of Fine.
Thank you. If there's any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, hello. My name is Ana Mendoza. I am a junior currently studying political science. I am running for the ASUA Senate position at large. I'm also a transfer student, so I came from Pima Community College, and my platforms include basically diversity and inclusion, and I want to focus on the cultural centers, getting to know the students with marginalized identities and getting to meet them instead of having them come to us. I want to focus on having them train ASUA as well as show constant support, especially for our Daca and undocumented community.
So as you just mentioned, you talked about the critical need for ASUA to strive for diversity and inclusion. Can you give a few examples of how you want to implement that?
Yeah, so I noticed that where students are most comfortably is cultural centers, right? And they rather go to cultural centers than show up to ASUA office hours. So I think one way to truly expand on our diversity and commitment is to be diverse and change this stigma that they should come to us. So us meeting them, getting to understand the cultural needs for every student here on campus, as well as host spaces such as forums where students can come in and express their needs and have cross-collaboration amongst cultural centers.
Thank you. So you mentioned that you were a transfer student. If you could talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you face as a transfer student, and as a senator, how would you address those challenges for other transfer students in the upcoming year?
Okay, so I know the U of A has a transfer student center already existing, and they do an effort to go to Pima Community College and show space and have recruitment. But I think that there is no better recruiter than a student themselves. So for me, when I was a transfer student, I saw little participation among students being at community college. So in ASUA, I would like to work with the student government at Pima Community College to see what projects we can collaborate with, and for us to actually go onto their campus and see how we can recruit students by showing them what actual students face and collaborate here on campus.
So from a lot of your platforms, you're definitely going to need a lot of input and like communication with administration. So how will your role as an ASUA senator work to better communications between U of A students and UA administration?
I think with communication, transparency is key. I know administrators do hold office hours, so I know President Robbins has office hours available. I don't know how aware students are of those office hours, so I think really whenever we go into spaces and whenever we have events, making sure students are aware of that, as well as meeting with faculty, meeting with admin, and making sure students are at the forefront. So whatever issue we're addressing with faculty, we make sure that students who are impacted have a seat at the table.
Cool, thank you. Are there any questions in the audience? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gomez Ambriz, and I'm a junior studying biochemistry and physiology in the Honors College. And so my platform is built on three main ideas, and that's fostering more community within outside of campus, and that includes creating more programs that aim at addressing issues in the community of Tucson, and working with staff to create a more cohesive community between the U of A and the Tucson community. Secondly, I want to use the Getting Study Center to build a more social environment between the College of Medicine. There's this stigma between physio majors where everyone thinks they're in competition with each other, and I want to help using the Giddings building to put on more social events where everyone can come together and realize we're all friends here, and we're not trying to put each other down. And then lastly, I want to allocate more resources and more attention towards marginalized students as well as first-generation students to level out the playing field, make sure everyone has the opportunity to become the best person they can.
All right, hello. So how would you plan on improving the College of Medicine as a student senator, personally?
As a first-generation student, that's a big identity I hold, and what I want to bridge is the fact that we're a Hispanic-serving institution and also a Tier 1 research institution. So I want to work with Robbins and as well as all the other STEM senators to find a way how we can bridge that gap between serving minorities as well as everyone, no matter based on what background they come from, and how we could get them to achieve their goals, either through research, through lab experience, and whatever they want to achieve. I want to work with senators to achieve those goals.
So many students within the College of Nursing are not aware about ASUA and the different programs. Oh, okay. College of Medicine. Do not know about ASUA and the programs or opportunities within it. How are you going to combat this problem and inform students about the different things we offer?
Great question. So actually, before I started my campaign, I didn't know what ASUA was. And running for College of Medicine Senator was kind of a last-minute thing. So one way I figured I could help bring more candidates to the table is going to speak to the Physio 201 or Physio 202 classes. So that's a prerequisite that all of us take, and explain to them like what my position is and what I'm here to do for you, and how if you look up to what ASUA does, maybe you could campaign and see if you can make a difference yourself.
Are there any questions from the audience?
The College of Medicine Dean's Office has had very little contact with the undergraduate program itself. They typically tend to focus on the medical school. Why do you think this is, and how do you think you can improve this relationship?
Great question. Also another thing, I don't think I've ever been to the Dean's office as well, so there's obviously something wrong if I haven't even been there as well. So advertising it more, know that they're not just focused on the College of Medicine down at the main medical campus, and providing ways, more interactive ways to bring those residents to the dean, and finding more ways instead of just going to office hours. Maybe she goes, or I don't know, I don't even know who it is, who's the dean, but bringing them to one of like the study sessions or Giddings and help them interact with the students is one way I would address that issue.
Is there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. May I begin? Okay. My name is Skylar Copet, and I am a junior here at the University of Arizona. I am double majoring in physiology and psychological sciences, and double minoring in business administration and Spanish. With my degrees, I hope to go to medical school after my undergraduate career to pursue my dream of becoming a physician. I'm running for student body senator because I know that though the past senators have done an amazing job, there will always be something new to accomplish. And I believe that I can be a voice for all students on campus. My passion for students' well-being drives my campaign with a whole heart. This includes their mental health, well-being, and my wish to provide free CAP sessions, their physical well-being, and my campaign to lengthen safe ride hours, and their financial well-being, which includes my quest to provide a space in the library for donated textbooks. My experience with ASUA and my network and connections on campus qualify me to be a candidate in the 2019 ASUA elections. Thank you.
Hi, sorry. So the first question that we have for you is, how are you planning as a student body senator representing the entire student body of 44,000 people to better represent underrepresented students on campus?
Yes, absolutely, great question. Well, I couldn't be a senator without my students, and I think the most important thing is, and kind of not to just stray away from the question, but basically I need their support and I need their help to understand who are the underrepresented students. I need their help to tell me what do they need and what can I provide for them in their services. So I would seek out, obviously, too, but I would also be a great listener and understand what they need from me.
So I know you touched a lot on like mental health, which is a growing thing here. So what improvements would you make to current initiatives? So I'm not know if you're familiar with any of like ASUA's current initiatives on mental health, but what improvements would you make to those to better student lifestyle?
Great. I'm actually a member of the Student Health Advocacy Committee in ASUA, and so I think working directly with that team, and they're actually just a front line in student mental health, and that's not the only thing they focus on. They obviously focus on all health around campus, but I think really bridging the gap between ASUA and CAPS, that service, that will really help us in providing more services to our students.
You have so you have 2 majors, 2 minors. You're in Shack. Obviously, you're a very busy person. How do you plan on managing all of that? And I'm sure more activities.
A really good planner, but also, great question. I do have a lot going on, but I think that having my double major and my double minor has taught me a lot about time management. And I do have a great network and a great support system, and I think just and also, like, I think that's where like CAPS comes in as a great resource. We have all these amazing resources on campus that we're able to use and help if we are stressed out. And I think just utilizing that and the resources that are already here, and that's kind of how I plan on doing it.
Cool. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Mackey, and I'm a junior here at the University of Arizona with a double major in law and political science with a double minor in French and sociology. I'm running to be your next senator for the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. I'm a proud member of the Gamma Phi Beta sorority and the Phi Alpha Delta law fraternity here on campus, and recently I gained real-life political campaign experience working on a U.S. Senate campaign. And it was there that I realized that in order to be the best leader and the best candidate in this community is to listen to the voices around you. I plan to run on a platform that includes every student in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, regardless of minority statuses such as race, sexuality, and gender. In my term as senator, I want to hone in on people's soft skills and networking abilities, as jobs coming out of this college are really honing in on these interpersonal skills and connections. And to put these skills to work, I would like to see the College of the Social and Behavioral Sciences implement a college-specific career fair. This would give students a real-life ways to practice their interpersonal skills that have been strengthened by interview workshops and mock workshop simulations. The election is one that I'm taking very seriously, and I hope to see you all out on March 25th and 26th. Thank you.
Okay, so first question is, I know you mentioned a lot about the different changes you want to see, such as the career fair. So how would you go about in implementing those?
So I know being a junior in the college, we have a lot of distinguished professors that have communications with the administration in this college. I would like to make relationships with them and especially use the connections through ASUA to go forward and implement these programs because they're so essential to student success after graduating college.
The College of Social and Behavioral Sciences is one of the largest and most diverse colleges on campus, encompassing more than 6,000 students in more than 20 different majors. How will you work to bring all these different students together?
Yes, it's known as the People's College, and I think that's so important because it's built up of so many diverse human beings at the school. And to bring them all together, I would like to see these career fairs and these club fairs because the school is so large and the college is so large that making it a smaller community makes it so much more worthy to the students that are in it and that they can come forward and reach their full potential.
Thank you. So as a fellow SBS student, I think my question to you is, there's certainly concern around advising and the advising structure and how effective advisors are within the college. Is that something you see as a problem? And if you do, how would you go about changing that system?
Yes, I actually do think that it's a problem because recently I got a new advisor and I wasn't informed of it. I got one email, which I think a lot of people don't check their email, and that is a big problem on this campus. And the advising department for such a large college obviously has its problems, and as an ASUA senator, I would work with the advising department and with the ASUA resources to try and fix that and try and make such a large college a little bit smaller.
Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, am I ready? Hello, my name is Madison Smith, and I am from Phoenix, Arizona. Upon graduation, I decided to bear down and attend the University of Arizona. I chose to pursue a major in business marketing and a minor in Spanish. As a pre-business student, I was selected as top 10% of the incoming freshman class to complete the Eller Leadership and Integrity Training for Excellence program. This program consisted of developmental workshops, apprentice-style challenges, networking opportunities, and philanthropy events. From then on, my interest in getting involved began to blossom and grow. Through an extensive interview and application process, I was accepted as an Eller College of Management ambassador. In this position, I play an active role in recruitment events and informational sessions for undecided students while serving as a peer mentor. I also execute planned tours of the college in large groups around 20 people. This school year, I chose to get involved in student government. I was quickly accepted as the Associated Students of the University of Arizona intern, where I currently assist directors in marketing and public relations on projects, events, and programs. I have proved myself valuable in this position, and so much so that I'm running for the Eller College of Management senator. I have many ideas for shaping Eller and keeping engagement in this college high. Overall, my main goal is to get students hired through a better Eller experience. Bear down and vote Madison Smith as Eller College of Management senator.
Hi, Madison. So as you probably know, in Eller, there's a lot of pre-established programs for students, whether it's like a student council-based or like club funding. So how will you work to enact your new ideas along with these pre-established programs?
Yeah, of course. So first thing for me when I was in Eller is I knew nothing about ASUA. And I think that's a big issue, is there's definitely a gap between ASUA and Eller, and I didn't know of all these wonderful opportunities that ASUA has to offer, such as senator, and as well as the internship program through that. So I definitely think that we can go in, and I can definitely, put our name in, get ASUA's name out so that we can start enacting these things together, and that I can work with the clubs that I am already previously in to definitely get that involvement and engagement up so that I can enact these things for students.
So how will you work as the Eller College of Management senator to bring together pre-business and business students?
Yeah, of course. So one of my main platforms definitely was, as I was applying to the business school as a pre-business freshman, one of the biggest things for me is I knew nothing about the application process. I feel like there wasn't really a forum for me to go to and ask Q&A questions to students that were in Eller. So one of my main things that I want to do is have, office hours with current students that are, outstanding in their academics, that pre-business freshmen can go up to them and be like, hey, I just have a question about what were type of the questions that you were asked in your interview. And so then they can give them a little bit of an information and kind of assist them in that way. So I definitely want to bridge that gap so that they'll be able to, get all their questions answered about the interview and application process for professional admissions.
So for the last question, I know you mentioned a little bit about how you've been interning in the office, like PR and marketing, and so with that experience, how would you think that you would be able to improve ASUA outreach across the whole campus?
Yeah, of course. So one of the biggest things for me, I'm going to start with Eller and then the rest of the campus. For me, there was not really any ASUA posters, promoting events in Eller at all. And I really wanted to get, especially like I Will Week is now, and I want to get, campus recognition and get some posters up there because I've been working on them currently, and I really want people to come out and be able to be engaged, as well as I was wanting to do mindfulness, and for the mindfulness ambassadors, I wanted to do workshops in Eller to kind of get that ASUA engagement throughout the Eller College, and that is so prevalent here now in the student union.
Awesome. Is there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening, fellow Wildcats. My name is Mark Jennings. I am running for ASUA Student Body Senate at large. My three big platforms are improving student safety, securing students' rights to free speech and to discourse and to have conversations, and ensuring the transparency of the tuition money that we pay. And rather than going into the details about how I'm going to do all that, which you can read on my ASUA website, I want to talk about why I've picked these three things as my big policy issues. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but American culture is a little bit divisive these days. And I picked these three things because these are three things that all students, all 44,000 students that I'll be representing, regardless of race, ethnicity, sexuality, political party preference, etc., can get on board with. I think it's my job as a senator to represent all 44,000 of these students. And when you guys elect me, that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
So the first question that we're going to have for you is, how are you going to act as a liaison between students and administration?
So I have a ton of personal connections, not only, but also connections to various organizations on campus that want to be active in the decision-making process. Part of what motivated me to run is people would just not stop complaining about certain things like the Safe Ride program or the access to mental health resources. And I kept hearing these same things over and over. When I become your senator, I will listen to what every student has to say, and I will take every student's opinion into account on what we need to do to better this system and give them the best college experience that we can give them.
Thank you. So you mentioned some of the three critical issues that you see. If you could expand and talk about one specifically and how you will go about solving that as an ASUA senator.
So one of the things that made me really want to run is a wave of violent assaults that happened last semester. I was sickened and disgusted by the fact that on this campus, there are people who are being victimized by other people. One of the things I want to do to ensure student safety is to try to get the Safe Ride program to run 24 hours. Because it's available, but it's not available during the times of the day when students are most vulnerable to being attacked. I don't think that any student should have to fear for their own safety on this campus. And when you elect me, I will do whatever I can to ensure that that does not happen.
So I know if you're familiar already, but Senate has an initiative to improve campus safety. So I think this is a great platform. How will you work with UAPD and even the City of Tucson Police Department to help improve safety on campus?
Well, I'm really glad that you asked that question because I think that a lot of the people who are committing these violent and despicable acts against our students are not U of A students, and they're not within the jurisdiction of the UAPD. I want to set up weekly meetings with the Tucson Police Department and meet a couple times a semester with the Tucson Police Chief to ensure that things are being done to prevent crimes from being committed on the U of A campus by people who are not students and not under the jurisdiction of our UAPD. And I want to expand that and ensure, again, that all students can feel safe attending this school and being present on campus.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Is there any question from the audience? Okay, I'll walk over with the mic.
Hi, my name is Mira, and I'm a representative from a cultural center here on campus. So one of your platforms is free speech. At a university where marginalized groups, such as the cultural centers, are often silenced, how do you plan to elevate underrepresented voices?
I'm really glad that you asked that question. One of the things that I plan to do is I plan to meet with representatives from these cultural centers whenever they want to meet with me, and I will also take the initiative to reach out to these cultural centers and ensure that their voices are heard. I don't think that any student should be silenced, especially based on race or religion or ethnicity or any of that stuff. And I'm going to work to the best of my ability to ensure that all voices are heard that want to be heard.
Okay, well, that's a different question. Thank you for that. My second question is, since another one of your concerns is student safety, how do you plan to ensure all students feel safe on campus, including those who come from Daca and undocumented backgrounds, considering that Border Patrol is often present on our campus? They were present yesterday, as an example.
So I believe that all of our students are wildcats, and that all of our students deserve to be safe on this campus, including people who are under DACA protection. I want to work with the state and local governments to ensure that these students are informed of their legal protections and their legal rights under the program and are able to be on this campus without fear of being deported.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And before we continue to our next senator, one of our fellow candidates was unable to make it tonight, so I gave them the opportunity to sort of send me a paragraph, and I would read it. So I'm going to do that now. So this is a candidate for the senator for the College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences. Sorry. So I'm going to read it as like they sent it to me. So I'll be saying like I and things like that. So, as a candidate, and the candidate's full name is Adora Harvey. As a candidate for the College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences Senator, I hope to bring a voice to my college in order to influence administrators to appoint a dean while also working with advisors to diminish the negative perspectives on exploratory and general studies students. It is important that my college have a dean, and this needs to be communicated with student needs and administration. Currently, there are only 5 pre-health advisors for 11,000 pre-health students. As a result, pre-health advisors are overworked, often unavailable to students, and incapable of effectively conducting outreach. By acquiring a seat at the Dean's Council, my college will be able to communicate its own needs directly to administration. I have spoken with Luceria Soto Delgado, who currently serves as my college's executive director. We have agreed that the first point of action is to appointing a dean to our college by informing Jeffrey Goldberg, interim senior vice president for academic affairs and provost, of the students' needs and desires. I plan to draft a petition and act as a vehicle for students' voices. The impact of the student voice is often underestimated, and I believe it is the one thing that is missing from the solution of this issue. Additionally, I am currently meeting with Michael Davenport, advisor of class, in order to discuss his 5-week campaign to diminish the stigma against exploratory and general studies students. I hope that through our meeting, I will be able to formulate ideas on continuing his campaign throughout the semester. As a college senator, I hope to be able to work with several campus resources to build on current systems of assistance for low-income students and advertise them more effectively. I want to expand Campus Pantry to be able to be open longer and to improve more basic needs such as learning materials and hygiene products. Through discussions with Michaela Davenport, director of Campus Pantry, it is clear that this can be accomplished by working to offer paid internships or jobs to student workers so that the pantry will be more supported during this expansion. I was also told that the pantry hopes to become a student program geared towards diverse success. I will work with Ms. Davenport to expand this idea by hiring students who experience financial struggles. This will offer more employment opportunities and professional development experiences to students who have little opportunity for extracurriculars. Additionally, I'm currently working with Danny Carrillo, who is the program coordinator for Fostering Success, a student service which helps those struggling with meeting their basic needs. I hope that through our discussions, I will become more informed on the program and resources that our dean's office connects with students. I anticipate that I may be able to connect Campus Pantry and Fostering Successes in few days in order to reach the students. I, as your class senator, will accomplish these in the next school year. Come out to vote on March 25th and 26th for Adora Harvey for class senator. Thank you, and we'll have our next senator come up.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah? No?
Just speak really close to the mic and loud.
All right. Well, my name is Rocky Perez. I'm currently a sophomore. I'm studying political science and public relations. I'm also the only current student body senator that is running for re-election. Currently, in the last academic year alone, I've served on a variety of boards, commissions, and councils within the city of Tucson, Southern Arizona, and here on our very own campus, whether that be with strategic planning, with the Student Services Fee Advisory Board, and a variety of other ones, each pertaining to the success of our student body, our students, and the greater campus. Currently, with the objective of continuing my work within Senate, I'd really like to focus on civic engagement, whether that be this coming 2020 census in collaboration with our prospective student body president, equity versus equality, so working with financial aid to address a very, very big gap in financial aid in their work to serve our students better. And student engagement, a lot of the things that we've talked about today were in regards to marketing within ASUA and how we reach our students. And right now, a variety of colleges, thousands of our students don't know what ASUA is and aren't able to effectively communicate between both ASUA and these students. Like what was said earlier is that a lot of the times students expect us to come to them, and that's what it should be. Right now, office hours, they're not required in the office, but I spend a majority of my time outside of it. And I'd like to continue that this coming year, in addition to helping each and every one of these prospective senators carry out their own initiatives. So, yeah. Questions?
Right, hello. So please give a specific example of how you have positively contributed to UA as a student body senator during your past term and how you would work to continue that effort if elected again.
That's a hard question because there's been quite a couple of times. I think one of my favorite things would have to be the Student Services Advisory Board. Being able to take my experiences as a student that's from the LGBT community, someone with parents that were immigrants, illegal immigrants, and just someone coming from the background that I do, especially as an independent student without parental support, Being able to go into this committee and being able to help students that come from similar backgrounds, whether that be funding the Immigrant Resource Center, which was a great example where they were very underfunded in previous years, where this year alone they've been staffed, they're about to be staffed increasingly more. And then there's a variety of other ways, whether that be with financial aid, civic engagement, and then partnerships with the greater Southern Arizona. So.
Before we ask the next question, I just want to address that the term illegal is not preferred by these students and that it should have been stated as undocumented. So we can continue with the next question.
Okay, so next question. I know for me, when I was a returning senator, each year I feel like I kind of got a better understanding of my role and like what could be done both like realistically and just how to make sure those things happen. And so coming into this next term, how do you think you can use your experience to kind of be a leader within Senate?
I think that's a perfect question. I think that this year alone, especially within the last couple of weeks, I've definitely taken a step back and really evaluated how our Senate goes about serving its students. And I think that we've had a tremendous year. There's been so many different initiatives that we've brought forth. But right now, I think that my focus is more so within ASUA. I definitely want to see Senate address civic engagement, whether that be through the Civic Engagement Project. I'm not too sure what the progress of that is, but being able to move forward with that, especially with today's situation with Border Patrol, that's definitely something I want to see happen in the next couple of weeks. Just overall, I think being able to help support the prospective senators within their endeavors from my own personal experiences and being able to reach so far. So, yeah, I think that answers the question.
How will you hold yourself and other senators accountable for participation and attendance as a senator?
I think that from my personal experience, I've definitely missed meetings. I think that with that being said, a lot of the times that I miss these meetings, it's because I'm being active within my community and I'm attending other functions around the University of Arizona or around Tucson. And in that case, I think that with that being said, with the intention of potentially being Senate President, that I would definitely support the senators however they may see fit. If they think that they need to be active within their community and it's benefiting them, ASUA, and the greater University of Arizona, I'm all there for them. But I'm also very cut dry, and if they're not, I definitely want to see them. I don't support hypocrisy, so if students are not attending meetings, I definitely will hold them accountable, especially with the new legislation within Senate with the new strike system. Although I would like to see an amendment where there could be an appeal process should people, such as myself in my own scenario, not be able to attend those
Thank you.
meetings.
Time's up. Next question. Okay, awesome. And do we have questions from our audience? Okay, awesome. I'll bring the mic.
Please and thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for clarifying the term, clarifying the I word, first of all. As a representative from the Immigrant Student Resource Center, I know I appreciate that personally. I think you have an interesting insight into ASUA already, being that you're currently a senator. If you were to be reelected, how do you plan on engaging ASUA more into the cultural centers and making them more visible? As I often hear that as a criticism among cultural centers, that ASUA is not visible in our spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. I think given today's activities, that's definitely something I'm not going to wait until next academic year to take care of. That's something that's going to be taken care of within the next couple of weeks. But in regards to establishing a presence within the ASUA with our cultural centers and vice versa, I think this year alone, and I'm not too sure, we were able to bring someone from a cultural center into our office where they can now hold office hours. I'd like that to be vice versa. I think that there needs to be some kind of legislative something established within ASUA Senate where they're required to outreach and actually establish themselves within each respective resource center. But again, there is backlash sometimes. Sometimes these resource centers may not feel comfortable with having certain individuals, which is totally makes sense. But I think being able to at least take that initial step and make that happen. Also, given that that Student Services Fee Advisory Board was able to pass and increase funding to allow more staffing, I think being able to collaborate with those new staff members would be a great opportunity.
Yes, one more. So my second question would be that being representative from the Immigrant Student Resource Center and being involved with other cultural centers across campus and other marginalized groups, we often experience, I'll speak for myself, I often experience hard interactions with our administration and with President Robbins himself of being resistant to reach out to cultural centers. So as an ASUA representative, how would you help elevate marginalized groups and their agenda when talking to faculty, administrators, and the president?
I completely concur with that. I think that coming into Senate this academic year, I was very prone to being quiet, and a lot of the opinions that I had, I stayed quiet on them. And I too have faced the wrath of administration not agreeing with me. But next week alone, I have a meeting with President Robbins to talk about these certain issues. And that's something that's definitely on my plate and something that I continue to pursue. But staying silent isn't something I intend on doing anymore, and I appreciate that you don't either. So, yeah.
I would also appreciate if you gave students a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, first of all, thank you all so much for being here. I want to particularly thank my fellow Senate candidates for your attendance here today. Obviously, a plurality of you are running unopposed, so I do appreciate you coming to speak on your platforms and just being in your presence. With that being said, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Matt Hernandez. I'm a current junior studying both law and political science. Some of my involvements on campus include being the current Undersecretary General for Internal Affairs for Arizona Model United Nations. I am the outgoing philanthropy chair for the fraternity of Phi Gamma Delta, and I'm the current selections chair for Chain Gang Junior Honorary. Some of my platforms include, first of all, one, optimizing student access to some undergraduate research opportunities specific to SBS majors. On top of that, I also would like to introduce, like Taylor, a SBS-specific club fair, as well as an SBS-specific club town hall where representatives from SBS clubs can come to talk about how we can collaborate, how we can use our resources, and how we can really utilize our recruitment advantages and things like that. And finally, I want to implement some more professional development workshops within SBS alone. I think we're really advertising those workshops. Obviously, the College of Law has like LSAT, things like that. There's public speaking things, so just really making sure that we can fill those rooms with SBS students, I think is of my utmost importance. So I look forward to your questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Okay, so the first question is going to be relatively similar to one of Taylor's. But of course, SBS is one of the largest colleges on campus, more than 20 majors. How do you work to connect all of those different majors together? They do seem very separate and distinct.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, there's over 5,000 students that call the People's as being a Greek leader, a leader in the Honorary Society, and a leader with academic clubs. I think I have a very unique perspective when it comes to student issues, and someone who can be very approachable when it comes to combining all of our majors. Like I said in my platform initiatives, I want to introduce an SBS-specific town hall where we can have representatives from different SBS clubs, maybe from different SBS majors, all coming together in a platform like this to talk about what are the issues that we need to get done, what are the things that we can do together, and how we can accomplish those as a unit. So yeah, thank you.
So given the diversity and size of SBS, there's definitely like a lot of clubs within.
Absolutely.
So support these clubs and use ASUA as a resource to do so.
Yeah, so I'm actually wearing my Arizona Model United Nations here in SBS. So just by doing that, I think advertising is something that we definitely need to work on. So just again, whole thing that our clubs need, bringing everybody to recruitment along the line. Our events are successful, our meetings are successful, and our objectives for the goal are successful for every single club.
Okay, so last question. Something that I was really impressed with Senator Adams this year was his relationship kind of built with the dean and the upper administration. So continuing those relationships.
Absolutely, and I've talked with Senator Adams a lot on this issue because he did mention to me how great that connection with the dean was. So I think making sure I'm meeting with the dean more frequently based off what the needs of the SBS students are. Everything really comes down to our relationship with the dean and then my relationship with SBS students. It's really just being that privilege to communicate that to the dean and the administrative staff. So thank you so much for your questions.
Thank you. And are there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you all.
Can everyone hear me? Yeah? Good? All right. So let me introduce myself. My name is Rodrigo Robles, René Robles. My major is a pre-business student looking for minor in Spanish. I'm proud to be a Mexican American. And what I'm looking for is my platforms. Let me talk about my platforms. One of my platforms is better safety, community, and campus, first of all. And then for straws, for eco-friendly, I'm running for straws, for stainless steel straws, because I see many people using the straws as like, wow, like, and many people in the union, Park Student Union, say skip the straws, so no one's paying attention to it. So maybe have a donation I can do with you guys, with ASUA. And last one, at least with you guys, like better faculty clubs, like I'm active in clubs, for example, HH, Eller Hispanic Honorary, U of A Alpha, which is Latino Professionals Associations, which is I'm involved in with people, and thank you.
So yeah, you have really great ideas, and one thing I have to say is, how do you plan on facilitating those ideas, like with administration and going and figuring all that out?
Figuring it out, like being active, like having one-on-ones with meetings, because like I'm always inactive. Like I like to interact with people. One of my biggest interests is like connections. It's like talk with someone else. Like if I have a chance to meet them, interact with everything. Like for example, I'm always down. Like if I want to do with touring, interact with other teachers, professors. They have office hours. Don't be engaged. Don't be nervous about it. So they can take advantage.
Awesome, thank you. So one of our newest requirements is a mandatory 10 hours a week for all of our senators. So how will you hold yourself and other senators accountable for participation, attendance, and really just getting things done as a senator?
As a senator, I guess as done is like focusing who's my other colleagues for senators, some of my fellow senators. We're running there. It's like to see who can be like in charge of this, who is this, charging, because it's a big task for me. It's a great opportunity. Like I'm running for the Senate, even as a freshman, taking this great opportunity with you guys. So.
So I definitely love the idea of the straws, because I definitely think we need to walk the walk and not just talk the talk here on campus. So if I say so myself, yeah. So how would you work with others within ASUA, maybe like Students for Sustainability or even other senators, to reach this goal?
For reach this goal is like, for me, like we say, we have like the recycle bins, like they did them like in the past. So reduce, recycle, and reuse. But like for me, when I work with other ones, like I like to like work as a teammate. Work as like an individual, like be like the note taker, being the asker, like asking questions, like what should I do with this and everything. Because don't be engaged. Like I like to help others and like be involved in campus. Pretty much it. So thank you guys. So any questions, concerns?
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Angel Hernandez. I'm running for College of Science Senator. Talked briefly about myself. I was here 2014 as a freshman, and I left after 2016. And I came back because I wanted to, continue my career as a wildcat. I'm studying psychological science, and the reason why I chose psychology since I was in high school is because it's been basically something simple. I want to help out people. That's something I've always been. That's always a dream of mine, basically to be someone that someone could come up to and talk to about any type of problems, any type of things they need help with. So dealing with that, that's one of my platforms. Dealing with mental health awareness, having someone to basically have workshops, basically anybody that wants to come and, hear some knowledge, basically help out other people as well. My second platform is basically to have communication between faculty, students, and staff. A lot of students aren't aware, such as myself, my first and second year here at the U of A. I wasn't aware of many things, and I feel like creating a platform such as something online could basically help students come together, basically find out these clubs, basically find out how diverse University of Arizona is, and come together. So, thank you.
So I know that within the College of Science, a big aspect that kind of incorporates that college is STEM. And so do you have any initiatives or ideas that you would work to kind of incorporate this more in your college or improve upon its presence?
Well, as to work with the science of College of Science Senator, and to work with others as well, such as which one is it? To work with other senators, I feel like, can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry about that.
So STEM, just how you would go about like incorporating that more in your college, or you'd work on any programs that are already kind of focused on that?
Actually, that's better. For communication-wise, I'm dealing with my platform. I feel like faculty, staff, and students could, faculty, students, and staff could come together and basically say that, talk about their clubs, such as myself. With my major, I need research units, so I feel like faculty can basically talk about that on this platform that I want to create. So, yeah.
As you just mentioned, you are a form of considered an untraditional student. How would you go about to reach out to some other students that have come from a background like yours?
Background as in leaving the university? Or? Like the platform as well. I want to show that there's clubs on campus, basically someone can find a home away from home. That's how I was myself. That's why I joined a fraternity in Greek life. Basically, I want to have that family away from home. And I understand there's these clubs as well that have that same goal, same mindset, that want to have other students, such as the 6,000 students under the college, find that home. So.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, you mentioned those 6,000 students. It's a very big college, many different majors. How are you going to work to connect all of those different students together? Have you thought about any initiatives or in terms of like projects or ideas that you would accomplish that?
Well, I was able to attend the cultural forum, so I hear that many executives want to create a town hall. Basically have a meeting where other senators could come together and talk about their plans. So I feel like that would really work as senators, many senators such as ourselves would really, really jump on that. So I feel like that would really work. So.
Awesome. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grace Sluga, and I am currently a candidate to represent the College of Humanities as a senator within the U of A Associated Students. Before I begin, I just want to thank all of you guys for being here. I really appreciate the participation. I'm really excited. Should I stop for that?
You're fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It just makes the process a whole lot more meaningful to see all of you guys out here. It gives me hope for the future of the U of A. Moving on, I am a double major in Spanish linguistics and psychology. So I'm really excited to represent the College of Humanities because I think it's a perfect combination and it will give me a lot of insight into providing for students who are busy on campus. On the University of Arizona campus, I am involved in the Chi Omega fraternity as the secretary, as well as I'm the president of Spur Sophomore Honorary. So I think all of this involvement has given me a lot of insight into student life, and I think I'd really be able to provide for the students that I represent as a voice, as a unifier between the dean. I think like my voice isn't stronger than any other person's voice. I walk the halls and go to class same as them. So I'm looking forward to speaking more about my platforms and talking with you guys today. Thank you.
First question, what are some key areas that you feel are under-addressed in your college currently, and how would you work to address them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I think that my college already has a lot of great initiatives that have been started. The problem that we have is like lack of knowledge among the students or lack of presentation to them. Just today I was at a club fair and they had all the representations from like the Brazil language program or like the Japan language program, and there were not a lot of people there. So it's kind of disappointing to see, because I believe if we like utilize marketing or social media a little better, we'd be able to show people like what our college has to represent. I work in the Office of Admissions, so I work a lot with prospective students, and I think if they had a better knowledge of the things that we already provide, such as college ambassadors, then people would know more about what's already there.
So I know that within the College of Humanities, there's a wide variety of different majors that students can choose from. So what are some ideas that you have to bring these diverse majors together to collaborate and just get to know each other better?
Yeah, definitely. So like I said before, just like promoting knowledge of these events that are offered, because I think the one thing that we all have in common, even though we're all part of different majors, is that we all really admire the skills presented by the College of Humanities. These go hand in hand with technical skills, so stuff like work ethic, your soft skills, your ability to connect with people. That's something that every major as part of the College of Humanities has in common, and that's something that we all share. I think if we just emphasize those points, except for our divisions, then we'll just see that like we're all just part of the College of Humanities. So.
How do you plan on working with other members of ASUA to achieve your platforms?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. So I've never been a senator before. I've never been a part of ASUA, so I'm really excited for the opportunity. I think I can learn a lot from my fellow senators. I think showing up to meetings, being present at events, and not just like sitting there, like being fully present and being involved in the conversation and in the talk, paying attention to what happens on campus, reading the newsletters in my emails. I think just being there and being present and aware of those issues that are going on are what's going to help me be able to collaborate with everyone and get the job done. So.
Awesome. Are there any questions from the audience? All right, thank you. The mic.
Thank you. Hello. Oh. Hello, everyone. My name is Gage Driscoll, and I'm currently a junior in the College of Engineering, pursuing a dual degree in systems engineering and industrial engineering, among various engineering minors. From my fraternity to honorary involvements on campus, I've likewise maintained a consistent involvement. I've likewise maintained a consistent participation in the College of Engineering, working closely with the dean, who's Jeff Goldberg, now the interim provost of faculty, as well as Larry Head, the current interim dean, as well as each of the advisors on campus, as the returning TA of several years for the various the freshman engineering classes. Ultimately, I feel like it's each of these qualifications that help to put me in an ideal position to represent the College of Engineering and its student body. My preliminary efforts as senator will include closely inquiring and adhering to the appeals of my constituents and maintaining and developing many of the platforms established by my predecessor, including advocating for increased nighttime safety measures on campus, particularly for women, such as street lighting and blue light signals, as well as continuing work to increase both the awareness and the impact of campus pantry. Additionally, I'd like to work closely with the ASUA Allocations Board to ensure that clubs are allowed to get the funding that they require to perform at their highest educational capacity here on campus. This is something that I feel will also greatly promote involvement and inclusivity of engineering students across campus and clubs across campus, both STEM-related and otherwise. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering any questions that you have and to developing these platforms to better serve both ASUA and the engineering student body. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question is how, as an ASUA senator, will you work within the College of Engineering to improve its presence throughout campus?
Sure, and so I think a large part of that isolated mentality in the College of Engineering has really been perpetuated by lack of involvement in different organizations across campus. I think I've had a great deal of exposure to this, being involved in the different clubs, honoraries, and Greek systems that I'm involved in, and have been involved in the past 3 years. And I think a big part of promoting inclusivity of engineering students in those clubs is raising awareness. I mean, I think this position's a great example. 8 months ago, I didn't know it existed, and here I am running uncontested in my college. Even though thus far it's been such an incredibly rewarding experience in terms of getting to meet so many people from so many different colleges, and now getting to work with them so closely over the next year. And I mean, there's 100 other positions exactly like this where students can get a very similar experience that they just aren't aware of up till now.
Hi, Gage. So currently, the College of Engineering provides several outlets for clubs, whether that's through Engineering Student Council and the Dean for funding for the clubs. And so how would you encourage clubs to seek funding for travel or projects through ASUA instead?
Sure, and so clearly not every club is going to get everything that they ask for in terms of like funding and budgeting when they come into like an ASUA and ask. But I think medium could be met between myself and allocations board and like the club executives to determine what's fair and what's going to be sustainable for other clubs across campus.
The last question, I know you mentioned STEM, which right there mentions like College of Science along with like College of Engineering. And so how would you work with other members to achieve your platforms?
Are you just talking about my various platforms that have implications in other colleges?
Like, I feel like with your college, there's a lot of room for like collaboration with other colleges. So
Sure.
just how you'd go about
And so a lot of, as you said, my platforms aren't necessarily specific to the College of Engineering, and that's something that's clearly going to require the help of other senators or members of ASUA. I mean, I suppose I will just ask. I look forward to working closely with each of the members of the council to whatever capacity that I need to.
Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ali Shanicki, and I am running for the College Pacific Senator of Public Health. To give you a little bit of background about me, I'm a junior here at the University of Arizona. My involvement includes freshman class council. As a freshman, I was a part of SOPO Sophomore Honorary, and I'm currently also in Chang'an Junior Honorary. In Greek life, I was a director for Chi Omega Fraternity, and I absolutely loved working with Greek life, but as well, I was also a director within ASUA for Volunteer UA, specifically for the cheer and basketball program, which is a free basketball league for kids here in Tucson to help them cultivate the importance of going to college and what it's like to be on college campus, as well as giving students the opportunity to give back and connect with the Tucson community that they are so much a part of, whether they realize it or not. My main platform, though, is water stability here on U of A's campus. Over the summer, I had the privilege of working with the Watershed Management Group, and I realized how important it was for us as a university, as well as a Tucson community, to provide water stability, because if we continue to use water as a resource that is unrenewable, we will ultimately not be able to sustain life here in Tucson. And so I think this is a really prevalent issue for Wildcats now, but also if we want future Wildcats to be able to enjoy the lovely city of Tucson.
It's me, right? Yeah. Okay, hello.
I'm Matt.
Hi. Cool, so your first question is, so of course you mentioned this passion for water conservation. How can you relate this passion to your work as a public health senator, and more so just public health in general?
Of course, yeah. So environment is a huge part of people's health, whether they realize it or not, in any way, in the toxins in the environment, in your environment around you, even the landscape. So one thing that the Watershed Management Group talks about is the color green. So whether you realize it or not, actually, the color green helps promote good mental health, because when you look around and you only see dirt, inherently your body thinks that there's not enough resources here for you. There's not water, there's not food, and that's something innate within us that we don't even know about. And so when there's green, there's flourishment, and there's nature, and there's life, it helps promote good mental health. And I think that mental health is something really close to the College of Public Health, because it's kind of a little bit more of the social side of science, but as well as it relates to every single student here on campus, as well as all environmental acts, because without us helping our environment, especially here in Tucson, it will not only affect our Wildcats, our public health students, but also the Tucson community as a whole.
So the College of Public Health is much like Eller and other colleges where they're on like the north island of campus. They're separated by Speedway. Yep. So how would you work to bring students to main campus and bring ASUA to them, that collaboration?
Yeah, I think although the College of Public Health is far away, many college public health classes are held here in the main campus. I think marketing could be a huge part of any way to reach out to students, but I also really love this idea that a lot of people are talking about going to the cultural centers, which I feel like a lot of public health students are a part of minorities, and I think just making sure that like everyone has a seat at the table, everyone's being kind of clued in on these amazing opportunities, because there are so many students who are so passionate about many positions that we have here at ASUA, but I don't always think that they're always aware of them, especially College of Public Health students. But I do believe that even though our college is far away, we are just as much as a part here on campus as everyone else.
So I know that you've had some experience working in the administrative branch, so do you see any ways that you could potentially collaborate with the different programs and services within that branch?
Yeah, of course. So I've actually already reached out to Students for Sustainability because they do actually have a thing called HydroCats, which do already work with Watershed Management Group. However, it's more about volunteering for them, and I would love to see Students for Sustainability not only volunteer outside in the Tucson community, which is obviously so important, but also getting the watershed management here on campus, whether that's at a dorm to like collect water, or even making irrigation here better on campus, because when it rains, like we all feel the pain of how much water is just everywhere, whereas if it was better utilized, that could be helping our campus and as well as our community. And so I think just talking with Students for Sustainability and a lot of the other groups here on campus that are already kind of started that, and just kind of pushing them to kind of like up the ante on it.
Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paige Hargis, and I am running for the college-specific position for the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm a veterinary science major, currently a first-year sophomore. I came in with credits from high school, and it's a whole mess. One of the platforms that I'm really wanting to focus on is ensuring that the students at the university have, am I too far from the mic? Ensuring that students at the university have everything that they need to succeed. They have the resources, they have resources such as campus pantry, campus closet. If they need professional clothes for a job interview or for an interview for a program, that they're able to do that. I'm also involved with another ASUA program, Bear Down Camp. That was a program that helped me so much when I was a freshman because I didn't know anyone. I moved from Texas, so that helped me so much, and being able to continue with that is something that I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Okay, so in what way, so you kind of mentioned campus pantry and campus closet. So in what ways do you want to go ahead and help support more inclusion and diversity within groups that may need a little bit more help like that?
Right. So one thing that I think is a little bit of an issue is people knowing about those resources, because I learned through them through Bear Down Camp, but a lot of people don't have that exposure to everything that campus has to offer. So making sure people know that, hey, you can go get help here, and it's for you, that's set up to help you. Making sure that everyone has access to it and knowledge about it, I feel like is really important for that.
Awesome, thank you. So I believe you learned about this position through one of Senator Christopher's events, is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So with that, how do you think that in your position you can reach out to more Cal students, whether that be holding events like Senator Christopher's or any other ideas or initiatives you have?
All right. As far as reaching out to people within the college, one thing that always works is food. If you feed them, they will come. And I think being there as myself, going to events, getting involved with other clubs. I know the current senator, she goes to meetings that involve all of the current members of clubs and the leaders of the clubs, and she goes there and works with them. That is something I personally would love to continue, and making sure that I'm available to people. So if they need, they can shoot me an email, come say hi, but making sure that I'm available for whatever they could need.
So the Cal's is definitely like a very large college. They have facilities all around campus, even north of campus, up Campbell. So is there any area in which you feel that the college is currently not addressing, given the like widespread variety of Cal's?
Since it is so spread out, as you mentioned, I feel like there is sort of a disconnect between the different majors. Like as a veterinary science major, I don't really interact with the more agricultural side. I feel like having more ways to get them all together and involved, and more cooperation within different clubs or different organizations, I feel like that would help address that issue. I haven't seen too much of that. There are Cal's events, but I feel like there could be more as everyone for it.
Awesome. Is there any questions left? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So I just got a message from our College of Education candidate, and they're currently in like the Education Council meeting, which is held during the same time as here. So they're using their time there to better benefit the College of Students, so they couldn't make it. So you're definitely able to read their platform and sort of shoot them emails if you, as an audience member, have questions about the College of Education. But I would definitely like to sort of give another round of applause to all our candidates here for attending today. Also, I'd like to give a round of applause to the community members who attended today and asked questions. And as well, thank UAPD, no, I'm sorry, UATV and the Daily Wildcat for being here and sort of reporting on today's events. So I'd like to thank everybody. Tomorrow is our executive Q&A, which has our 3 executive candidates. I highly suggest that you attend to be able to give your voice, your opinions, and make sure that they hear them and answer your questions. All questions will be welcome. We'll sort of have the same we'll have the same structure where it's a panel, and then sort of the 5th like empty seat will be a question from the audience. So we'll cycle through those, and also so it's tomorrow in the Sabino room on the 3rd floor. It's again from 5 to 7 p.m. And then also voting is on the 25th and 26th. So next Monday and Tuesday it'll be all online. All you need to do is log into elections.asua.arizona.edu and in order to cast your vote. So thank you all for attending, and we do have the room for a couple more minutes. So if there's questions that you would rather ask personally to the candidates, you're more than welcome to. So thank you for coming.